Hi, guys. We're back. And as you know the drill, we're going to give you about, 30 to 40 seconds. I know we just had a little countdown. That's something new. But we'll give you another 30 seconds to come in so you can enjoy my guest that I have today. So I'll see you back in just a few seconds here. All righty, let's go ahead and welcome everybody back to DSS Break. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm here live every Thursday to talk about data science experiences and best practices with leading data professionals in a 15-minute break. I'm Anna Annison, CEO and founder of Formulated By, the home of DSS, and I'm streaming live from our HQ. Formulated by HQ at the heart of Design District here in Miami. And today's episode is going to focus on data science and cybersecurity. And I'm very excited to welcome Nirmal Budhathoki, Senior Data Scientist at VMware Carbon Black, and former data scientist at both Microsoft and Wells Fargo. And Nirmal has experience working for both government and private industries and focusing in the area of intersection of security and data science, which is a really exciting conversation right now. Welcome, Nirmal. I'm really happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in data science.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, so much. That was a great introduction. Not a whole lot to add now, but obviously, I will add where I begin my journey with in data science. So I started as a security data analyst with SPAWAR. They now go by NAVWAR. It's a Navy federal organization, and I was working in the cybersecurity command. And then that's when I started learning about the data analyst value of the data science, and then I
Mhm.
was one of the candidates to go to school for UCST, doing the data science degree. After that, my passion got even bigger for data science. After meeting with like a lot of working professionals on the college, then I got my first job in Wells Fargo as a data scientist, and like right now working as a senior data scientist at VMware Carbon Black under the security business unit. And we tackle on daily basis a lot of security related problems, trying to see if data science would be a good fit, right? So
Cool. No, that's really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Why do you think currently AI and cybersecurity is so unique in itself? Maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
yeah, so great question. Obviously, the when I started, like I said, started as a data analyst, then I started seeing value of like having burning down resources from the cyber command, like all the cybersecurity analysts, the threat hunters. They are tired of like dealing with the alerts and an exponential growth, right? Because
Mhm.
we are the digitization, a lot of the devices network is always getting bigger than smaller, and we get a lot of alerts. So people are kind of like it's hard, like the only option is the automated way of having AI or machine learning system to learn from the data, learn from the pattern, and then try to help them out. That's the only kind of like hope. So the uniqueness itself is because the every network is different.
Right.
Like all the companies have their own set of VPN setup, the whatever the network they set up. They are in different clouds now because of the cloud agnostic kind of mentality. They are in
Yep.
multiple clouds, right? So that means you opening up more threat space, right?
Mhm.
And the lack of talent obviously is another point I usually see. It is kind of like a rare combination, people having the threat hunting or cybersecurity experience, and at the same time people having the data science experience. And how do you combine this? The intersection piece itself is a unique in itself, right? So that's why I find security and data science combination as a unique,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, maybe now we could go and talk a little bit about what is the pressing need for AI and machine learning. I mean, it seems like it's pretty obvious, but maybe you could talk a little bit about that, because I feel like now that we have so much data and all these different models running, there's just so much more risk of different attacks, right, on
Right, right.
organizations. And we've seen that happen. Um,
Yeah. So, like I said before, the data is growing at an exponential rate, right? Like we're talking right now, we are generating the streaming video data. Like obviously, every post that people make in social media, it's like it's 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 so growth rate is so high, right? So as compared to before, and then because of COVID-19 again, a lot of companies decided to go remote. It's
yeah.
generating more data, right? Obviously, the risk factor also increases with that, and then the IoTs. That's another factor.
Mhm.
Cryptos and blockchains, right? People are
Yeah.
in that, so that increases the data surface huge, right? So and the attack vectors are increasing daily, right? This what Like I said, the SOC analyst or the security analyst are not enough by themselves to deal with this. And then the cyber war now is not going to be manual war, it's going to be digital war, right? So when the adversaries have the advanced level tools like AI tools to attack or hack the systems, I mean, we putting the human in the defense is definitely lost already, right? So the AI or automation is going to be the rescue, or I would say usually say the lightsaber from Star Wars is only the AI that we can give it to our knights, to fight.
Mhm. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think also, I mean, that kind of brings us to the next question. Why is this problem harder for in this industry in AI versus other industries?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely touched upon a little bit earlier, but why it is hard problem is because especially for the data scientists, like usually most of the models we learn in other domains. Like there's plenty of data sources available outside, in the public internet, right? So, but obviously the companies, I mean, it's a sensitive data. Your network data is sensitive data. You don't want to share the data, right? So, you don't see many of the cybersecurity related Kaggle competitions, many of the as compared to others. You don't see free publicly available data sources, that is kind of real, besides the simulated, right? So that kind of like handcuffs the data scientists. They only can learn from limited resources or data sets, right? When they want to learn before they land in a job, obviously they can learn from the job, but when you are like ramping up your skill set, it's hard, so
Right.
and if even the most of the problems we have to deal with is the unsupervised way of learning, right? So it's hard to
Mhm.
find labels, especially in cyber data, like and the class imbalance is huge, just like any other problems, but especially in the anomaly detection problems or any of the classification problems for the cyber, usually it becomes a huge class imbalance problem because there's only few things as compared to I mean, obviously the bad things are going on, but uh, I mean the good data is huge compared to that.
Right.
So the other challenge is, I usually put it this way: the security team has to get it right every single time. However, the like offense, whoever is attacking, they just have to get it one time, right? If they
Yeah.
get it right one time, they're in, right, in the network. While on the other
Scary.
side, I mean, we have to get it right every single time, right? So, and it's hard in itself.
Yeah, statistically also probably, like
Yeah.
getting something right every single time. Like
Yes, obviously.
and what are some of the use cases that maybe you could share that are using AI actually in security?
Yeah, good question again. I think some of the use cases I can think of would be, like I mentioned earlier, the anomaly detection is a popular one. Like you wanna see what is the deviation from the normal baseline, right? So,
Mhm.
like someone is exfiltrating data, right? For example, I'm As a regular user, I'm just my average data interaction or data download is like 50 MB per day, for example. And then all of a sudden, I see a spike of like 1,000 gig. Something is going on. Is my credentials getting hacked, right? So that's
Right.
like that. That's like the like a deviation from the normal behavior. That's anomaly detection problem. The other one is usually, like I mentioned before, the alert fatigue for the SOC analyst.
Yeah.
We can prioritize the list for them. We can remove some of the false positives for them, right? Some of the binary classification problems like phishing email versus not. It is a malware versus benign file. And also like recommendation of security rules, which is fairly new, but obviously compared on, like, if we see a similar network, we can recommend the good security rules to them if they are doing something wrong, right? So,
Yep.
or if the configuration is bad. And the other industry that is becoming is an old concept, but it's becoming hot right now, is the user entity behavior analysis, also called
Mhm.
UEBA. And that's like something like monitoring the user's behavior, right? So if it is a deviation from the baseline, just like anomaly detection example I talked before, but
Yep.
UEBA kind of combines everything in one place, right? So my behavior can be a combination of many things, many factors, right? So those are some of the kind of like top, I would say, the use cases or problem space.
Yeah, no, super interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. And do you think now companies are kind of believing that this is more of a threat and investing more money into this problem, or is it still kind of hard to get people to buy into this?
Yeah, so I felt in my own experience being in cyber industry for this long, I have seen a shift now, at least
Mhm.
compared to before. One reason could be maybe they don't have a choice now, right? Than
Yeah,
believe it. And like the COVID-19 has definitely, given a different view for it, because like we are going on, people are like working from remote, like with their laptop in hand, instead of like going to the office and connected to the network, right? So that kind of increases the threat space in itself. So companies have to like calculate, when they calculate their cyber risks, they have to kind of consider all these factors, right?
yeah,
I usually give this analogy or example that investment in security is obviously really hard to see the ROI, like what is the return on investment, until something happens, right? Until it
right.
happens, then you're like, okay, we got millions of data loss. But until that point, obviously, you didn't know how valuable your data was, right? So it's
Hmm.
like we buy an insurance thinking that we may end up in accident, but if you don't end up in accident, obviously that's, you're just spending money, right? But the counter fact is, like, if it happens, then obviously you're going to end up more money than what you think, right?
Of
So
course, yeah,
data is the asset. So and companies have realized to protect it. The trend of attacks is increasing. Like, the ransomware is being the new trend. Like they encrypting the data and asking money. And sometimes companies just like, a lot of things doesn't even come out in the news, right? Sometimes the small attacks, right? The big ones like SolarWinds, the recent Colonial Pipeline, the recent one is Log4j. Everyone is trying to fix
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I would think that there's a really new like paradigm that company is thinking from cybersecurity perspective now, and which is good, obviously. So I would think that stays like that, that we have no choice now. That's what I started the conversation with.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's good to hear that people actually are looking out
Yeah,
for their data and,
right, right.
so. Well, thank you so much. It was really awesome to chat with you today. And we're really excited to have you come and speak about evolving data science careers with changing skill sets on the virtual track of the upcoming DSS hybrid event that we're hosting on February 16th. And there's going to be a link in the comments section so you can register. It's a free event. So we're really excited to host it, and it's going to be on demand for 2 weeks. And we're also going to be doing some small pop-ups here locally, and you can also sign up in person for some meetups on February 17th. And thanks again for joining, Nirmal. And also thanks for, doing all the work in cybersecurity that you're doing. It was really a pleasure to have you today.
Same here. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited about the event, the other presentation as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.